Okay, hello everyone, Lewis here once again, and today I'm joined with Daniel, and what we're going to be doing today is giving you guys a few tips for capture a gem, as there will be a lot of people who perhaps haven't seen all of our videos and need to know some of the basics on how to actually pose a threat. Yeah, because otherwise we think it might be a bit one-sided, and also some people will be doing some very silly stuff. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so once you finally get to your base, if you don't have one already, you really want to get a furnace, and a furnace doesn't really cost too much, it just requires quite a few different things. So you need 20 stone blocks, 4 wood, and 3 torches. So once you made the furnace, we can then start actually making stuff, well, bars at least. As you can see right here, I've gathered up 90 copper ore, which is a respectable amount. It might be quite hard to get in a big game such as a 20v20, 30v30 or 40v40, but you should still have enough for at least one bow, but I've just got a bit of an excess here. So obviously you just want to make your copper bars. There's no reason to have copper ore other than for a few potions. And once you've done that, you want to really make offensive things. Some people might go a bit crazy and make some swords, but I don't really recommend swords at all. Which is not very useful. The main thing you want to stockpile and put in these kind of chests down here is bows, because you're going to die a lot, especially in a 40v40. So just put your dual bows in each chest, and hopefully, if you're very nice, your team should do the same, and you'll have enough to last you a whole game. But of course, before we do that, we do need iron as well, so I'll be right back and get some more iron. Okay, so back and we've got some iron ore, so I'm just going to make these iron bars, and then it only costs 5 iron bars to make an anvil, but I've got 6 for some odd reason. But yeah, now you can finally craft all your stuff. We highly recommend that you do not touch your armor at all. Unless you've got a ridiculous amount of copper, you really shouldn't touch it. Weapons do 2 times the damage as we do the monsters. So if you had a copper bow and it does 7 to a slime, it'll do 14 to a player. So the armor really doesn't help too much. So of course it does help a bit, but you really want to focus on stockpiling up your copper bows. If you're in a bad position, melee weapons just won't work, so I'm just going to make a few different copper bows here. As you can see, I get a few different things.
One thing to note as well is the fact that the damage actually also stacks on top of arrows, because arrows do like 3 or 4 damage or something, and flame arrows do even more, so it all stacks up, and armor's incredibly pointless to be equivalent.
So as you can see, I'm just going to put all my crappy bows in here for anyone else to use, and take the good bow. And once you've done that, you finally, of course, want to make some arrows, and arrows cost a different thing, of course, as well. So it cost 1 wood and 1 stone block for 5 wooden arrows, so we're going to get a decent amount of those. About 90, well actually not even that much, about 50 will bring you through 1 life, unless you're really wanting to be out in the battlefield for a long period of time. And also, once you've got your arrows, you probably want to make them into flaming arrows as well. You can't make them flaming arrows. Oh wait, you can. 1.1 out of that. Well, you didn't used to be able to, but you have to put these in inventory. Well, used to, but now you can just leave them in the ammo slot, and you can make flaming arrows with them. And that costs 3 wooden arrows and 1 torch. And on top of them doing a bit more damage, they also have a chance to do a damage over time effect, which makes the player lose quite a bit of health.
Yeah, quite a bit, like 15 HP I think.
It's highly recommended that you make as many of your arrows, flaming arrows as possible. And as you can see in the chest down below, we do actually have, there it is, the slime statue. So if you wanted to do, you could make a farm, and then you'll have as much
flaming arrows.
Gel, yeah, and as long as you've got enough wood and enough stone to make the arrows, you can make as many flaming arrows as you want, which is of course very useful. But the general message I should take away from that is that you should make armor, you should make lots of bows, you should make lots of arrows, which is something lots of people forget about and then lose the game because we're just running out with melee weapons and it doesn't work, as I've said. Another thing which we're going to be talking about is teamwork. It's something lots of people somehow forget. I know it's just Terraria and you might not be using teamwork in single player, but it is really necessary to make a team successful, especially in the smaller games such as 4v4s. We've seen a lot of players just running off in the distance, going solo and trying to murder the entire opposite team. It simply does not work. You need to stick together.
It does work, Lewis. It's okay if you just bring a few grenades. It's just you tend to bring everything they have, they loot everything they have, and then you can screw over your entire team.
If you're just going in to, just see what's up, and you've got some grenades and you're trying to get some good grenades, but you still have an opportunity to get out of the way of the opponents, and that's fine, but most of the time people just run on the base, go suicide with a lot of gear, and that's something you really don't want to do. It'll let down your team and it'll just completely throw the game in their favour, which is of course something you don't want to do. You want to actually win the game, or at least you should. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is sky bridges, and just for an example, I'm going to be dropping this to Daniel. So sky bridges are extremely effective basically. If you can't penetrate the player straight up because they've got something like loads of arrow traps at the front, it's a good idea to just go over the base and see what you can do from there, even if you don't know what you're going to do next. So you can make it out of anything. It's not really recommended to make it out of wood. I'd prefer to make it out of stone, but as you can see, Daniel pretty much can't hit me at this point. Once you do get up to this kind of stage, he can sometimes get some good pot shots in. You can see he almost shoots me there. I don't even have PvP on. Just kind of a bad example. Daniel turned PvP on. But basically, unless they have got arrows and bows, which lots of people seem to forget about, we can't do anything. And even if he does, you can see I'm just eating up his arrows right now, which is just wasting his, considering he doesn't really have too many. And obviously, once you've done that, you can just fly down, go Batman, get out your laser cannon, which obviously won't have in a real game, shoot Daniel up, and then steal his gem. Obviously it wouldn't work like that, but if there's maybe a few people up here and you got by surprise, you can put some boulder traps down, you could try doing some offensive arrows, you could try, if they are in bad position, you could place explosives here. We've got a big wall off here, so lots of people like to hatch it.
Skybridges though is height is everything, and that's all that matters. Like if your skybridge is higher than your opponent's, because a lot of the time people try and compete in skybridges, and if you get your skybridge higher than your opponent, then you're in a really good spot. And obviously, the way that Lewis did it, it doesn't work so well if you don't have a dual hook, but it's quite easy to just put down wooden platforms. You can still climb in skybridge, maybe not as fast, but yeah.
The best way to put down wooden platforms always is just to find the highest point you can do it, and put it down, highest point, put it down.
That's pretty efficient.
I'll show you why in a second. And you put one there, one that's there as well. Because if you don't have anything to make you jump any higher, that's the perfect amount to allow you to jump up. There's no reason to use any more. People seem to put them in really odd places, and it just makes it harder to climb up them, which is obviously quite essential. And as Daniel said, if they do have a higher sky bridge, I mean, you've got a few different options. You could just wall this off, give up with the sky bridge, or try to find a different way around. You could go underneath them, try to surprise them. If there's lots of people on their sky bridge, especially if they're actually in this position, you could just go and steal the gem. But that seems to be a rare thing to happen. People don't tend to make sky bridges behind the base. But the actual position of a sky bridge, we don't recommend you do it from your base to their base unless you've got an obscene amount of stuff.
Because it can actually be used to counter-attack as well. That's something kind of recent.
That's something you've got to think about. You don't really want them to just run it across your sky bridge. You could make a sky bridge which is a bit less obvious, but that would make it only accessible for dual hook users, which not everyone has. But yeah, you probably want to just make it just outside their base, or maybe at the midpoint of the map if you really want to and you think you've got enough stuff to do it and they won't expect it. Because that won't really give them a direct route in your base. It'll just give them a bit of a quicker route in the middle of the map, but you could also use it, you know, put some boulders on the sky bridge, as the boulders never really lose velocity, and as long as the sky bridge is flat, it will actually keep on going. So if you've got a really long sky bridge, boulders are really effective. We haven't actually used it in any of our current games, but it is effective, trust me. Okay, so now onto explosives and how effective they are. As today, we're the only ones who've actually used these in Capture Gem games. The opponents haven't actually done it, but we find it really effective. Most people do seem to like to hatch their houses. I know this isn't exactly hatching, but it is a decent example of how thick people normally make them. They normally are about this thick. So you can't get the gem from this side, you'd have to dig where you can, but normally they are a bit thicker. That was Daniel's fault. Damn you, Daniel. I'll make it a bit thicker. So normally if they're thick enough to not allow you to get from here, as you can see there, it would normally be a bit thicker than this, but the main thing you're going to want to look out for when you're actually doing this is to not blow up their actual bedroom. As long as you blow up a bit, if you blow up a bit of their base, that's fine, it won't really affect them, but if you blow up a bedroom, that's
then you're cheating.
You're cheating, and you should probably, yeah, you're a bad person. But don't ever use a 1 second timer. A 3 second timer, a 5 second timer, it doesn't matter. Either one of those will do, but don't use a 1 second timer or you'll end up blowing yourself up, as we've found out. So yeah, just put that beside there, and all you need to do is wire it up, which is just 2 pieces of wire.
And one recommendation is to actually use a 3 second timer, because one thing that I think maybe it's been used on us before, but people don't actually realise, if somebody plants explosives and it like turns on a timer, somebody can walk up to the timer, turn it off, and the explosives will not go off.
I'll show an example. I'm going to press it down. You turn it off, okay?
No!
Yeah, see, it's as simple as that. But the main thing you want to do when you plant explosives is kind of like a Counter-Strike. You know, just plant a C4 on the bomb site and just wait for it to tick down while you defend the bomb site. So you want to obviously defend it. You want to make sure it actually detonates. So you'll probably have a few different people here. They'll probably be in a bad position right now since you are able to actually put stuff on top of their house. And you just want to defend it, you know, keep on shooting them, make sure they can't get anywhere near it. I'll kind of show an example there, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, get back in your base. Ooh, no.
Whoa,
okay, it doesn't matter. We'll just blow it up anyway. So as you can see, yeah, awesome. you can now easily get into a gem, steal it, and run home like a little baby. And that's how effective explosives can be. Of course, it can be used for other little things like traps. You just make a little trap on the ground.
Landmines, you know. We've done that before.
Yeah, I'll show you one of those quickly. Just landmine. It's really simple to do and quite effective as well. So let's see. So we've got one explosive and also a great pressure pad. So that'll do. And it's something that people again haven't done too much, but especially on a 40v40 or so, oh my god, those could be effective. That would kill about, I don't know,
like 8 people.
Shooting at people. You probably wouldn't cover it up with dirt because
it's a bit obvious.
It's a bit obvious. You'd normally cover it up with the same thing you wired up, the same thing you digged out. Sorry, but this is an example. I mean, someone could still fall for it. It's quite easy to fall for. Daniel's fell for his own traps before, so
you actually can't see the explosives at all. That's something important to know.
Yeah.
So the only thing you'd be able to actually see would be the pressure plate, but you know, you probably won't be able to see that really.
Yeah. So as you can see, put a pressure plate there, and then Daniel's just minding his own business, and he walks across
I'm gonna go get the gem. Awesome.
Wow, it even kills you with 400 HP. Yeah, it's very strong apparently. Yeah, it's just really effective. Of course, you can use it again in different ways, but it's just an example of how exactly you can use it. And another thing to keep in mind is the Tinkerer's Workshop. In case you didn't know, you can make boulders with these. It costs 6 stone to make them. Where the hell? Have I got no stone? I've got no stone.
And as Lewis did say before, yeah, Lewis, I'll give you some stone. Come here.
Okay.
As Lewis did say before, boulders do in fact never run out of steam. Like you can put them across a bridge and it'll never stop. The same thing does actually apply for dart traps. They never fall. So you can just put that across a sky bridge. We've never done this before, but this is actually a really good idea. To just put it across a sky bridge, and it's going to make advancing on the sky bridge very hard.
But as you can see, I can stack up 5. You can stack up quite a few different boulders, so you really want to make it a flat surface, or a surface which is gradually going down, or like a surface like kind of like a staircase, so it'll go like this, but obviously down the other way. Otherwise, it won't really work too well. If it falls like a decent distance, it'll just get destroyed. Daniel, get up and I'll show how it doesn't really lose. Right, get on the right side, Daniel.
The right side, okay.
On the right side, yes. So can of course go across it can go across platforms. I'm curious about that actually. Find out.
No, it can't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But one thing to keep in mind is that boulders only go left. If you wall it up like this, it will go right. Oh yeah, Daniel's right. But otherwise, it will always go
which is
left.
Extremely annoying. Holy crap.
It's very annoying, but don't do something stupid like you're standing here, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill you, Daniel. Yeah, arrows into yourself.
And that would kill you if you didn't have 400 HP.
Obviously, it's not too effective against 400 HP people, but that won't be the same in the CTGs. So you want to make sure you do wall it off here, otherwise it will not fall go in the right direction. And all you need is a pickaxe. Obviously this Godly Ham Drax does it in one go, but for a normal copper pickaxe it takes about 3 hits until it does actually move. And you can also use these for a few different things. If you do it for example like this, it will fall to the bottom and will go left. Yeah, it will go left. But if it has a wall off on the left, then again it will go right instead of left. But yeah, that's really how you're supposed to use this effectively. I know it's a disadvantage for people on the left. We just have to deal with it. It doesn't really cost too much, but it is a bit annoying. Okay, so another thing which a lot of people forget about is potions. They're extremely important and quite simple to make. There is quite a few deserts in each map, so all you need to make the glass bottle, which is what you need to actually craft it, is glass. So to get glass you just need sand blocks, and it costs 2 sand blocks per glass. Once you've got the glass down, you can then make a bottle, which you get 2 bottles per glass. Then once you've got a bottle, you don't really need this many, but you can put it down on this, and then you can then craft these different potions. So as you can see, I can actually make a lesser mana potion. Obviously, it's not really too useful unless you have been farming stars at night time, which rarely happens. It's only happened in one game when someone got a magic mirror. Mr. Lamondi, you crazy person. But this is something which is really, really useful. It only costs 1 mushroom, 2 gel, and 2 bottles, and also gives you, of course, 50 life, which if you've only got 100 life, that's half of your life. You can make a decent amount of those, and if you've got quite a few mushrooms, you can actually make a stupid amount of these. Of course, you do find them down in caverns as well, but if you don't find them down in caverns, this is an alternative way. And you can also make other things with it, like
iron skin. I've been able to make a few before, like we're not going to go into depth for those, but if you just want to go look on the wiki, there's a lot of different alchemy things. And in fact, in the last 20v20, the only reason we won is because I made an invisibility potion.
Yeah, that was really useful. We were to get off jungle stuff, which we obviously won't be able to get unless we were beside a jungle and have a decent manpower to go through a jungle. But it is quite easy to get if you do have that. Yeah. And it's something you really want to think about, potions. If you guys really do want to beat us, you might want to look at wikis. We don't know. I don't know the potions off by heart. Daniel does a bit.
I know a lot. I know that.
Because you've done it so many times. But just look at a wiki.
Okay. You're just gonna wiki. Okay.
I'm just saying, just look at a wiki. No, we're not going to go through it. Just look at a wiki for whatever you want. I'd recommend getting an iron skin. An iron skin increases defense by 8, I think it is.
Which is quite a significant amount of PvP.
Yeah, as you can see at the moment, I've only got 8. no, 2 defense. I don't know where oh, there we go. I'm getting the 2 defense from Obsidian Shield. But, for example, a full copper set I think only gives you 7 or so.
So how much? You took 21 damage there, Lewis. Take that iron skin.
Right.
You took it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow, wait.
Significantly lower. That has a lot, man, especially lower HPs.
Yeah, it really helps quite a bit. And also, to use all your potions at once, if you do have a lot of potions in your inventory, all you need to do is press B on your keyboard and we'll use all of them, which is extremely useful. You don't have to have them on your hotbars. And also to use this, for example, without having it on your hotbar, you just press H, which is something people don't know.
And one thing to note is the fact that if you press H, it'll use whatever healing item is the highest.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have like a mushroom on your hotbar, otherwise it will use the mushroom.
If I had a mushroom here, then it would use that. Or even if I had a mushroom here and I had a lesser healing potion here, it would use the mushroom. It goes from bottom right to top left, so you just want to make sure this is higher up. I mean, just to be safe, I'd prefer to put it on my hotbar, just because you can. And also a different little thing, but if you are a leader on the team and you've got a jewel hook, you probably want to put it in the bottom right of your inventory. There's no point in putting it on your hotbars, just press E to move. It's a hotkey to grapple, you can change it as far as I can tell, but I wouldn't recommend it. I like E, I'm used to it now, it's very useful. And also another thing to note is that you can actually, if you combine the jewel hook with a bridge, it's extremely useful.
Skybridge,
example. A skybridge, yes. I'm trying to find a flat surface. This desert's quite a flat surface. No, it isn't.
Not really, Lewis.
No, it is here. So let's see. So if I remove my, where is it? Spectre boots get off and my demon wings get off. So you can use this just to be like Batman. It does increase your speed a bit. As you can see, this isn't exactly a flat surface.
Probably doubles it easily.
Yeah, but it's something you really want to do if you've got a jewel hook, otherwise you'll be losing out really. It increases the speed quite a bit, and so as you can see I just get a 4 point. It's pretty much the same as having Hermes boots, but of course you don't have Hermes boots, but it's something you want to do with a jewel hook to use it effectively. And also if you do have a jewel hook, you really want to be active with it. You want to be constantly moving, trying to look for, if you hear something, you really want to be looking around the map, making sure someone isn't coming from behind your back, someone isn't coming from a sky bridge, or anything like that, as it is something people do quite a bit. So you want to make sure that people aren't doing anything sneaky, especially if you've got a jewel hook. Otherwise, again, you'd be letting down your team, and you don't want to do that. You want to, you want to win.
Yeah, and another great tip is Skype. Skype is very good. It's okay to type, but typing really does slow you down. I mean, you have to say, if somebody's attacking you, if you need help, you can't really type help, otherwise you're just going to kind of die.
Yeah, perhaps
so if
not
you do have a microphone, get Skype.
No, and perhaps not in a 20v20 CTG, but in a 4v4.
Well, that's less coordinated.
In a 4v4, this is also tips for 4v4, if you guys haven't already realised. We'll highly recommend to use Skype because it helps a lot. But as you can see on this flat surface, if I take off both this and my boots, it's pretty fast, It's a lot faster than just walking like a little. It's like boom. It's really fast, so we highly recommend you do it, as it will help you a lot. Okay, so now on the tips kind of about house building. House building is of course a big part of it, especially if you don't build Skybridge. It's really crucial where your base is located, even if it is located on a flat land as this once was. Building something such as a ditch or something is really useful. You could get a few slime traps, put them down here. If you get
maybe a mimic trap?
Yeah, we got a mimic trap from underground. If you get one of those traps, just put it in the pit, wire it up with a 1 second timer, and just right click on the timer, and it will be spawning those beautiful little monsters, and it will hurt them a lot. If you build a big pit, even this size is a decent pit, but you just want to make it as big as possible really. If you use in a 20v20 or something, you could get slaves. Slaves love to just go down pits, chill out in the pits, and very good at that. And as you can see, it's a decent sized pit, and it's pretty effective. The only way I could get across that is if I've got a jewel hook, or even if it's a bit wider, I wouldn't be able to get across it with even with a jewel hook. So yeah, pits are pretty good. And you could also have some active stone blocks here, just as some ideas. Active stone blocks across here, so you can turn it off and on with a button inside your base, so they can't get in, but you can. Or it could be a trap, as we did with the mimic. If you go across it, you press the button, they'll fall down in the trap, you turn it back on, and then they can't get outside of the trap. Or you could add some dart traps, and have some dart traps from each side, again with a button. There's a lot of things you can do, but people seem to forget about them a lot of the time. So dart traps, buttons, you've got the levers, you've got everything you pretty much want for wiring, so you can just try to do whatever the hell you want, and it will probably work. And I think that's pretty much it. Daniel, have you got anything else to say?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, but yeah, I hope you've found these tips kind of useful. Just been some quick tips. If you guys got any more questions about it, or want some personal tips about your personal playstyle, then feel free to ask us in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time in another Terraria video.